Greetings from Hilton Head. Hope this message finds you doing well. I wanted to give you an update on kind of a sensitive issue that the town of Hilton Head has been wrestling with most of this year and is kind of coming to a head more or less. And the issue is surrounding short-term rentals and its impact on our community. And in particular, there are maybe certain areas, certain properties where there has been some abuse, if you will, of the rental regulations that are in place. And then there's been a kind of an uproar in the community over kind of should short-term rentals be allowed, et cetera, et cetera. Earlier on, there was a proposal to potentially put a moratorium on any additional short-term rentals, which in my personal opinion would be crazy. The community depends on visitor and rental business for the economic vitality of Hilton Head and the area. So that does not make sense in my mind. Right now, they did decide not to put the moratorium in place, but rather look at some additional objectives or regulations that could be put in place. There's another meeting coming up this Monday evening, the 13th, and some of the things that they are looking at proposing would be increasing the permit fees for people putting their property in short-term rental program. And that would be dependent on the size of the unit, what the price would be. They are looking at putting a requirement for fire alarm arrangements in any larger properties over 3,600 square feet. That's a safety issue. They're also looking at some caps in terms of the number of people that can be in a particular property. And I think there's a lot of confusion around that and not necessarily a solid alignment around whether or not that makes sense or at what levels it makes sense, because it does have an impact on the costs for people renting those. It impacts our tourism business, if you will. It reduces tax revenues and property values too ultimately are impacted. The Hilton Head Realtors Association, of which I am a member, has been doing lobbying, if you will, with the town to get forward our position on it. And the biggest issue that we have is that some of these suggestions that have come up with is not really based upon any good solid data. There's no analysis of the economic impact. There's no connection to prove that this will solve the problems. And we haven't really even done any comparison with other resort communities that face similar issues. And I think one of the things that I find interesting is that the data from the town that it does have, it says that there's about 12 properties that account for 22% of all the complaints over the last 3 rental seasons. So what many people feel is that we are trying to solve a problem that doesn't necessarily exist, but we have a few bad actors, if you will, and we need to target enforcement of the current rules and not necessarily punish the rest of responsible parties, both rental companies as well as property owners and the community in large. All the small business on Hilton Head is very dependent on not only residents but the visitors that come to the island. If you are a property owner and have strong feelings one way or the other, certainly contact your town council member. If you're in Sea Pines, that's Steve Alfred. If you're elsewhere in different wards, you can give me a call if you need that, have that contact information. But if you're inclined to make clear your position on these issues, that would be great. Hopefully the next time I have an update on this, it'll be some positive news and we're moving in the right direction. I do think we're moving in the right direction, although slowly, because we did successfully prevent the moratorium from happening. Happy Halloween.